A full 10 years have passed since Troy burned, yet Odysseus alone remains lost, the last of the Greek warriors still far from home. This is the story of Odysseus and his journey to Ithaca, filled with mythical dangers and divine trials. After leaving Troy, Odysseus and his men attacked Ismaros, the city of the Cicones, a Thracian tribe allied with the Trojans. Their attack provoked fierce resistance, resulting in significant casualties on both sides. Escaping by sea, they were soon caught in a violent storm that pushed them far off course, eventually landing on the strange island of the Lotus Eaters, where the locals offered a sweet, intoxicating fruit that caused forgetfulness. Those who ate it were overcome with blissful apathy. Abandoning all thoughts of home and duty, and enchanted by the fruit, Odysseus's men wished to remain on the island. Seeing the peril ahead, Odysseus wrestled his men away from temptation and back to the ships. His wife Penelope and their kingdom of Ithaca, burning bright in his mind. On the next island, Odysseus led a small party to a cave in which they found a bounty of sheep, cheeses, and milk. While plundering supplies, they lingered too long and fell into the hands of the Cyclops Polyphemus, who started eating them one after another. With escape impossible, Odysseus had a plan. He got the monster drunk on wine, then blinded him with a sharp stick. As the Cyclops patted each sheep, unaware of the men beneath them, Odysseus's crew silently made their escape. However, as they sailed away, Odysseus taunted Polyphemus, revealing his true name. Enraged, the Cyclops called upon his father, Poseidon, the ocean god, who cursed Odysseus and vowed to make his journey home a nightmare of suffering and loss. Odysseus then arrived at the floating island of Aolia, ruled by Aeolus, the god of the winds. Aeolus, showing hospitality, welcomed Odysseus and listened to his tale. In an effort to aid Odysseus on his journey back to Ithaca, Aeolus gave him a pouch that held all the troublesome winds, keeping only the favorable west wind to push their ship toward home. For 9 days, the ship sailed calmly, bringing them closer and closer to their homeland of Ithaca. But when their homeland was nearly within reach, some of Odysseus's men, thinking the bag he carried was filled with treasure, opened it out of greed and suspicion. The winds trapped inside escaped, creating a storm that pushed their ship back to Aolia. Far away from home, once again. Next, they entered a quiet haven surrounded by steep cliffs. Without realizing, Odysseus and his men sailed into the land of the Lestreonians. While most ships glided in, Odysseus, wary, anchored outside. A scouting party met a girl who led them to her father's palace, Antiphates, a giant king. Inside, one scout was devoured, the others fled, but it was too late. Giants emerged from the cliffs and began hurling boulders and throwing spears, attacking the sailors and their ships. Only Odysseus and his small crew evaded the snare. He ran with every ounce of strength, the cries of his fellow men ringing in his ears. Ghostly echoes that would stay with him forever. After escaping the Lestreonians, Odysseus and his weary crew reached Aeir, the island of the enchantress Circe, daughter of Helios and the Oceanid Perse. With her beauty and beguiling charm, Circe lured a group of his men into her gleaming halls and offered them a feast, rich, fragrant, and cursed. As they devoured the food, her dark magic seized them, morphing their bodies into squealing pigs. Only Eurylochus, sensing danger, escaped and warned Odysseus. As Odysseus set out to rescue his men, Hermes appeared, providing him with the magical herb moly to protect against Circe's sorcery. Armed and immune, Odysseus defied Circe, broke the curse, and earned her trust, gaining not only shelter but her vital counsel to seek the prophet Tiresias in the underworld. Odysseus reaches Hades, the land of the dead. Following Circe's instructions, he digs a trench, makes offerings, sacrificing a ram and ewe, whose blood attracts the spirits. The dead start to appear. Firstly, Elpenor, Odysseus's dead comrade, requesting proper burial rites. He also sees Achilles, Agamemnon, and even his own mother, Anticlea, whose passing he had not been aware. He then consults Tiresias, the blind prophet, who warns that Poseidon, enraged by the blinding of the Cyclops Polyphemus, will make Odysseus's journey dangerous. Tiresias tells Odysseus he may appease Poseidon through a further sacrifice, but warns that if he dares to harm the cattle of Helios, the sun god, he will lose all his ships and men, and continue home all alone. Circe warned Odysseus of the Sirens, creatures with voices as sweet as honey, but hearts as savage as wolves. Though they appeared like beautiful maidens of the sea, they hid sharp, predatory teeth and a deadly hunger. Their haunting song promised hidden truths and whispered secrets of home, of Penelope weeping for Odysseus in Ithaca, luring sailors to their doom. Circe advised Odysseus to use beeswax to plug his crew's ears, shielding them from the fatal melody, while he, craving the song's forbidden truth, had himself bound to the mast. As they sailed past, he writhed in torment, desperate to obey the Sirens' call. Legend says that when the Sirens failed to seduce him, they were pulled beneath the waves and perished, defeated by their own curse. As Odysseus sailed home, he faced a terrifying choice: to brave the monstrous whirlpool Charybdis, capable of swallowing his entire ship in a single thunderous gulp, or to pass near Scylla, the hideous monster with 6 hungry heads which lay hidden in a cavern carved into the cliffs, each head poised to snatch a man from the deck. Guided by the warning of the enchantress Circe, Odysseus made the heart-wrenching choice to sail closer to Scylla, offering up a handful of lives to ensure the survival of the rest. As the ship crept past, her heads lunged down, tearing 6 screaming sailors away. As Odysseus, helpless, could only watch in horror. Odysseus and his battle-worn men set foot upon Thrinacia, the sacred isle bathed in the light of the sun god, Helios. There roamed the sacred cattle of Helios, guarded by his daughters, Phaethusa and Lampetia, though the prophet Tiresias had warned that to harm them was to invite utter ruin. Destiny loomed with a silent, watching eye. The men trapped on the island due to unfavorable winds began to starve, and led by Eurylochus, they slaughtered the forbidden cattle, while Odysseus was in slumber. An angry Helios called upon Zeus to exact vengeance. Zeus cast a terrifying storm upon the sea, shattering their ship and casting all into the deep. All save Odysseus. Tiresias's grim prophecy fulfilled. After surviving storms and losing all of his crew, the Greek hero Odysseus washes ashore on the island of Ogygia, the home of Calypso. She keeps him there for 7 years, hoping he will become her husband. As she sings and weaves on her loom with a golden shuttle, the island seems like paradise. Despite her offer of immortality, Odysseus longs to return to his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus. Eventually, the goddess Athena persuades Zeus to intervene, and Hermes is sent to order Calypso to release Odysseus so he can continue his journey. After leaving Ogygia, Odysseus sails away. But Poseidon, still angry that Odysseus blinded the Cyclops Polyphemus, sends a violent storm that destroys his raft. He reaches Phaeacia, where Princess Nausicaa helps him, and the Phaeacians return him to Ithaca. Disguised as a beggar by Athena, he arrives and secretly prepares to reclaim his home. When Penelope holds an archery contest with Odysseus's bow, knowing only he can string it and shoot an arrow through the axe heads. He wins the contest and then reveals himself, and with Telemachus, he defeats the suitors, restoring his place as king of Ithaca, and finally reuniting with Penelope.